meeting started. We're a little late than starting out at 6:05, but it probably won't. I know we won't be. I don't think we'll be here a full hour. But more importantly, the main thing that I want to do is say welcome everybody. I hope everybody's having a good week. I hope you are enjoying all the fun that you should be enjoying as a second vice district governor. And I know that you're not being asked to do very much yet, right? I mean, you don't have you have nothing. You don't have anybody from Lions Clubs International demanding your time. You don't have TJ saying you got to be at this meeting, or you don't have me. And I mean, you don't have anybody demanding on any demands on your time, right?
None whatsoever.
I get a little bit of business out of the way before I get started with this other stuff. I'm glad to see that everybody has their reservations for San Antonio. I do know a couple of you will not need one. Obviously, we're not going to have Chris is not going to need one because he's well, yes, he is going to need one. He is Del Rio. He is going to be there. I know that Ryan, you're going to drive in that day. And Gary, I think that you might be driving in that early that morning. Is that correct? Or did we lose Gary? We lost him. I think Gary is going to be driving in early, may have to drive in early that morning. So he's got an issue for Friday night. I do understand you guys have decided not to have a hospitality suite. That is just fine. I have notified the council chair and the council that the second vice district governors will not be hosting a hospitality suite. They're fine with that. And what I would like to share with you on that, or what I'd like not share, but what I'd like to ask you to think about when it's your turn. When it's your turn as the council, think about what you're going to want to do and how are you going to want the offsite to go. Because as you can see, there has been some confusion in the planning of this offsite. And as you know me, guys, I'm just gonna speak plainly to you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it very much. Sometimes it doesn't come out very nicely, but that's just too bad. That's just me. At the end of the day, I'm still not real sure what the schedule is. And I've read that schedule about 3 or 4 times. We do have a council of governors meeting that will take place on Saturday morning. We will have a workshop. I did what was asked of me, and that was to inform based upon the email that we all got from MD2, and it said on there that the council chairs will set the times for their workshops. So I set a time for our workshop, sent that to Council Chair Terrell, who immediately responded back to me and said, excuse me, but I set those times. And I said, apologies, I'm just doing what I was told. He said, who told you that? I gave him the email and then forwarded him the email. He was a little bit taken back that the committee had put that email out. It shouldn't have gone out. So I'm hoping, according to what Terrell has told me, that we should see shortly the new and improved and updated schedule for the offsite in November. Look, folks, as soon as I know it, you're going to know it, and you'll probably know it. Some of you may know it before I do. But my point in all this is that there's been a bit of confusion, and it's something that can happen. It's not a ding on anybody, but because they're trying something new and different, it wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't thought out, and it wasn't shared with the council chair. Council chair was not aware that this was going to take place, so it kind of took him back a little bit too. So we just all want to make sure that we're all on the same page. When it's your turn, you can hell, if you want to have a 3-day event in your offsite, go for it. You know, I'll support you in whatever you want to do, but we all just need to be on the same page and be able to articulate that to the rest of the MD about what we're going to do. So again, as soon as I know, you'll know. So thank you all, though, very much for making your reservations in San Antonio. I think it's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone there. We're going to have a great time together. I know that. Also, thank all of you for your reservations and making those reservations at in San Angelo. There are a couple that I need to ask, and you can tell me if you've made them or not. Um, Terry, have you made yours for San Angelo yet?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Um, Alexa, have you made yours for San Angelo yet? You'll need to unmute, Alexa.
I did make reservations over the phone, but I couldn't find a confirmation. I was looking back when I got your email and I was looking for that and I didn't see it, but I made it over the phone and I remember I responded to everybody in the group that I had. So I'm going to have to call.
I didn't see that email, so that's why I was asking. So, and you may have, I could have been on there. I just didn't see it. So,
well, I don't think there is a reservation there now, so I'm going to call and see.
Okay, okay. And there's our rate is good. We're nowhere near close to them closing the window on our rate by any means. But the reason I'm asking is to make sure that if we do need to let go of a reservation or two, I can unblock a room or two at that rate. So thank you, Alexa. I appreciate that. Mike, did you make yours yet?
I did.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Jared, did you make yours yet? Jared, did you make your reservation yet? Okay, thank you. And David, have you made your reservation for San Angelo, or are you just going to drive in?
Sorry, I couldn't get the mute button undone.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the head, Bob.
David and I made mine like the day that we talked about it. So
perfect. Yeah. That's everybody for me, and that means that we're all set to go. I've had I did have some communication today with past District Governor Lisa Free Martin. She is excited about our training that's going to take place.
Chris.
Yes.
Did everybody get confirmations back from San Angelo on their hotels?
I did.
I didn't.
Alexa says she did not.
I did not either, and I've called back, and they say that I have a reservation, but I still have not received confirmation. But
yeah, the only thing I got was just a verbal over the phone whenever I made it. I didn't get a confirmation number or anything.
Yeah,
very nice lady, but she said, "Yeah, your confirmation's made. We'll see you then."
Yeah, that's what I got.
I have the same thing, but when I called today to confirm again, they didn't have a reservation for me, so I made another one.
I will send an email tomorrow. It won't be tonight. And if you would like, I will copy all of you on that email. It's going to go to past District Governor Keith Perrine. His brother-in-law owns that hotel, so I will ask Keith to swing by to confirm everyone's reservation. Okay, if you would like me to do that.
Okay.
I did get a confirmation. It was interesting. It was a PDF of a picture of a letter.
That's what no, wait, I did get that. And I thought it was kind of.
Yeah, I did too.
It was different.
Okay. But I'll do that. And he'll just take that by there and confirm that everyone has a reservation. Ron, honestly, obviously you're driving down, so we're not, you're going to stay, you're just driving down that day, right?
Yeah. Okay. I'm within 3 hours there. I'm not.
Yeah, you're not too far. So that, yeah. So, but I'll send that and I'll copy you guys on that email that I sent to Keith. So, so that, and again, so I talked with Lisa today. She is ready. She's looking forward to the training. She's given me what she's going to need for the room. So that's not an issue. We'll have everything that she needs for that. Will send me she's going to send me your student handbooks. I'll print those off and have them ready for you when you get there. So you'll have all that kind of good stuff. So I think it's going to be a great session. It does get it out of the way. As I did look at this for your training, as you know, I sent an email to you guys. What was that? A couple of weeks ago, letting you know the budget that had been approved by the current council.
Right.
And that budget number was $1,600. I had asked for about 3,500, I think is what my original one, 32 or 35. We got 16. So again, file this back in the back of your head a little bit. When our time comes next year at state convention, not this Lion year, but for the next Lion year, we will be working on the budget for the 2026-2027 year. And we want to make sure that we put in there sufficient dollars to help cover the cost of training for second vice district governors as well as first vice district governors. So I could give you the history of how we got to the 1,600. It will not make you, it's not going to change anything. Just to suffice to say, I think it's a little bit shy. So we need to work on that a little bit for that. So at the end of the day, in that email that I did send you, I told you that we would have to pay, and it's customary that we pay the hotel and travel expense for the GLT. She will be there for 2 nights. We've agreed at $100 for each night, $99, and she'll cover the tax. Her travel is $365. That's $565. When you take that amount away from that 1,600, that leaves $1,035. And in that email, what I told you that we would just divide that amongst the 15 of you. Otelia, sorry, you and I don't get any of this money because you don't travel anywhere because you live in San Angelo. And I'm the council chair and they don't give me nothing. So that's just part of the deal. So that comes out. I hope you guys don't spend this money all in one spot. It comes into a grand total of $69 is what we'll reimburse each of you for the trip to San Angelo. Okay. It's better than nothing. That's about all I can tell you. So I apologize. I wish it was more, but we did make a strong push for it. I thought I gave them a fairly good budget to work by. As a matter of fact, what I gave them to work off of was 1 night hotel and 1 way of travel. So I wasn't even asking for round trip travel for everybody, but it came back at 16. So I can't change that, folks, and I'm sorry. I wish I could, but I can't. Did everyone receive the email today for checking in number 4?
Yeah. Yes.
Right. Mainly that email and the checking in number 4. The main reason for that email this time was for the schedule for your upcoming second vice district governor training online courses presented. Your presenter will be, our facilitator will be PDG Mark Roth. He has been assigned your group leader for the second vice district governors for MD2. So he's going to be doing that. You will receive an official invitation with the link for that training. The link will be the same link once you get it. As you can see, I did highlight session number 2, which is that's the same day as our offsite Council of Governors day meeting. I have talked to Mark, and the why I asked everybody if you were staying over on Sunday or if you were leaving on Saturday was I was trying to get an idea of how many would be there on overnight on a Sunday through Sunday, and that maybe if we had enough, we would try to go ahead and hold that training on Saturday afternoon after the COG. but we don't have enough staying over. It's about a split, and that's fine. So I've asked Mark to reschedule that training for us, and he will do so. When that will be, I don't know. I've been in contact with him over the last couple of days, and I've had a number of things to discuss. And as soon as he has a schedule nailed down and is able to send and knows exactly that those dates are etched in stone that I gave you, he will send out the official invitation. But those are mandatory training things, guys. If you can't make it, look, we understand. Again, like tonight, if you got a work conflict, you've got something that is a conflict that you just can't get out of, and you're not able to make it. Everybody understands. They're going to be recorded, so you can then at least go in and review it and get that training. The only thing that you can't do is you won't have that live discourse that you could have at the end of that when there is a Q&A at the end of that. So anyway, just be on the lookout for your invitation and the link to that training. You guys did receive an email from Second Vice President Mark Lyon, who sent you guys an email and a video. Have you all watched the video from Mark?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Didn't even know.
I strongly encourage you to take the 12 minutes, I believe was the length of that video. Take the 12 minutes to listen to it. It's motivational. It gives you some insight to his thinking, his leadership. It gives you some insight of where he came from as a Lion, how he's come up through the ranks, what has led him to where he is today. And so I think that it's a very good video to take a look at and to review. And most importantly, it kind of gives you his 4 points, what he calls his simple steps to leadership succession planning. So I think if you'll get something out of that. And he also talks a little bit about you developing your own second vice district governor action plan in that video. So take the time to do that. And speaking of the email that you got from Lions Clubs International that had that video with it, it also had some information on there about training and about the training that they're asking you to do prior to your November online training classes. Okay, that's prior to the online. I'm going to encourage you to try to have those classes and those videos completed by the 31st of October. That way you're not trying to do that before the day before the class begins. Okay. I know that a number of you have already completed them. I will tell you that as your council chair, I went in and did all the courses myself. That way I make sure that I know what you're being trained on. And at the same time, to make sure that I'm not stepping on somebody's toes and telling you something different than what they want you to do. So I want to make sure that we're all speaking from the same page. I know there's a lot of training. I know there's a lot of training coming at you, and it's going to eat up a lot of your time. Nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can't take that training away. I can tell you that it's valuable, it's useful, and you will use it. You may not think you'll need it today, but somewhere along the line or somewhere down the road, as you're going through these chairs, and especially as a sitting district governor, the things you learn in this training will come in handy, and you'll use it. You'll use that information. Believe me, you certainly will. Now I've talked enough for just about 20 minutes straight, and that's enough. Um, what do you got? How are things going? Tell me what you're doing, what's going on, if there's anything you need, or what can I do to help you?
Chris, I have a question about the training.
Sure.
I'm almost done with my online stuff, but I'm wondering if there's a list that we got from you that said suggested training for second VDGs.
Mhm.
The list of about 15 or 16 topics, but I can't find that on the portal. Is that
Well,
it?
you won't find it. That's what I gave you.
I know, but I'm like, where would I find that to be able to that list?
Is that in the memory on the memory stick?
That's what I wondered. My next question is that the stuff that's on our memory stick that
You did get some stuff on the memory stick. I also gave you just a handout at our workshop in Kerrville. Kim, I have no issue sending you that list. Okay, I'll just send it to you.
Yeah, if you don't mind, and that way I can go find it because I was thinking it was on the portal and I just couldn't find it. But I'll go back and look through my Kerrville stuff as well because that's probably where it is.
Okay.
Thank you.
You bet. Who else?
One suggestion on that, Kim,
Mm-hmm.
when you're doing looking for those on the Learn portal, the very first page, you need to let it, if you start looking for something that's not listed, give it a few seconds or whatever, it will load additional courses.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
I was impatient and I missed them, but just be patient and it'll load them.
Good deal. Thank you, Steve. Okay.
Chris, this is Cody.
Yes, sir.
Have we made that, our council made it the offsite? Have we made a choice of the city yet?
No, and we won't do that until we meet again.
Okay.
Right. I'd ask all of you to, I know you guys talk. I know you guys have your own communication platform, but as you communicate with one another, to come up with a suggestion when we all get together again in San Antonio.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet. How many of you went to USA Canada?
I did.
Bunch of you. I heard. I was last night with Lindsay and Stacy Phillips, and she told me stories. Y'all better be careful and pay me big. I'm just saying. So
I heard those pictures were going for good bit of money.
Well, they were telling me they saw y'all and that I was so proud. I was like, those are my peeps. But yeah, they said they had a great time seeing you. So
there was one thing that I attended, one class that I attended during the forum there, and that had to do with success as a district governor class. And one of the things that came up that surprised me was a discussion about what it constitutes a visit to fulfill the requirements. What constitutes a visit to a club, and who does it have to be? Who should it be by? And there was different discussions about who people thought it was. What it came down to was that only requirement is that it be an officer of the district cabinet. Does not require a governor or district or vice governor or even a zone chair, just an officer. And the second thing was that it only requiring one visit per 3 years.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that too, Brian. I was surprised by that. I thought that was
and that is in fact true. I will say that I think visiting a club once every 3 years may be I'm not sure that's beneficial to what we're trying to do in keeping our clubs engaged and showing that we as a district are concerned about and are there to help the clubs. So I think, while that is the requirement, that is the minimum standard I think that I think that a club should be visited at least once every year. However, you've heard me say, and I will continue to say, that I don't believe that the district governor should be the one making those visits. I don't. I've said it a number of times. That is out of step with a majority of MD2 leadership. That truly is out of step with MD2 international family. Don't care. Quite honestly, as a district governor, you have better things to do than to visit clubs, and more important things to do, like building new clubs, starting new clubs, taking care of the other business of the district. You have, as a district governor, you have a second and a first vice district governor that should be making those visits. That's how they're going to learn, and that's how you will learn as a second and as a first. You will learn who in your district are the folks that you might want to ask to serve on your cabinet, or to serve as a zone chair, or to serve as a committee chair. I mean, that's how you learn that. If we look at a district governor and say, as in my district, we have 44 clubs, and my district governor has the one and only goal is to visit all 44 clubs. Well, that's great. They're going to be visiting all 44 clubs. But what about poor old Jared, who is trying to learn who the heck he's got out there? Or what about the my first vice district governor, George Avery, who needs to find out who's out there that he can tap on the shoulder to help him as he moves into his district governor year. So I just think that we put too much emphasis on district governors doing that. And if you sit down, and you will have the opportunity here in November, I believe, if she is available, I'm waiting on her email to come back. But in our November, and I know our November Zoom meeting is a week after the offsite, but you're going to have a little bit of training on that Zoom call. I've asked Constitutional Area Leader PID Pat Finette to come online and to talk to you about the Global Action Team, and she will also talk a little bit about how Lions Clubs International has changed that thought process or policy of and when that change took place on having district governors making club visits and then moving it down to the first and second. So didn't mean to go off that far on a tangent, Brian, but it is right. Once every 3 years is the minimum standard. Yes. Which is kind of sad, isn't it?
Yeah. It was
Lower
brought
the
up.
bar, so we're tripping on it.
It was brought up in more than that meeting. And I made the comment, well, how am I not going to learn who my people are in my district if I don't get out there?
Right.
So I brought up this when they were
and the
telling
answer
us.
was?
Well, they just kept saying, oh, well, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. And I'm going, but you want me to pick my team, but if I don't know who the people are in my district, then how am I going to pick my team? Am I just going to pick the people sitting around me? And I brought that, and they just kept saying, oh no. So
who facilitated that session?
Well, the one that we had was oh my God, I'll have to find the name, but yeah.
Just
and then
curious.
the one, I have to find the name, but then the one that all of us went was the lady from Trinidad.
Right.
Suriname.
And I was kind of disappointed with her because all she talked about was her year as governor, and it was during COVID.
And why they use Zoom instead of meeting in person.
And that's it. She never brought it to the future. She never came forward with anything. It was all the past and what she did. And I was kind of disappointed, and people were leaving during her talk because they got tired of listening about the past. Well, we didn't come there. We wanted to learn how to manage our district, and I didn't feel like we went away with anything on that one.
And that's unfortunate, because normally I mean, my experience, and my apologies again for not being with y'all at the forum this year. We had some family issues that we needed to work through, and we did that. But that's neither here nor there. Just wasn't there. But the forum normally has, I mean, what do they have? They got 100 different sessions or more, and yeah, there's going to be one or two, maybe a half dozen that may not live up to your expectation. But for the majority of it, the forum does put on some very good sessions. Did anybody get the opportunity to go listen to Daniel Marney Elkins?
No.
Who was that?
Daniel Marney Elkins, past district governor Daniel Marney Elkins. He is also a board appointee to the board.
I didn't go to Orlando, but I got a recording of his message there.
Well, he was also at the forum, and he's outstanding. I mean, you can pick up an awful lot from Daniel. The guy's just very good.
What was he presenting?
I feel very sure that he was talking about growing clubs. He always does. Would have been one that he would have been doing. Let's see. Did anybody sit in on Winston Caballero's past council chair Winston's classes? Just asking. There's some folks that I know that were there that I know their particular topics are excellent topics. What about the one from Jody Burmeister on marketing?
I did.
Marketing outside of Facebook, beyond Facebook.
Yeah.
I did not. I meant to, but I had another one I went to.
I did. I sat in on that one. That was a very good.
Yeah, she can be dynamic and not so dynamic. It depends on the day. But her presentations are normally really very good, and her information is really very good. So, but the forum is a great spot for you to also learn, to meet. Well, not so much till you're going to learn things from going to the forum and going to those classes, but it's your opportunity to meet sitting international directors and also past international directors. Maybe somebody that you want to ask to come and be your guest speaker at your convention when your convention time comes around. It's good to have a face name rather than to have somebody just say, well, this is who we're going to give you. It's better for you to say, hey, I'd like to have this person, rather than saying, well, you're going to get this person. So
Chris, one thing that we did this year, and I don't know if they've done it in the past, but I sat in on the session on the people that are running for international director. They did a round table. Well, I shouldn't say they had a particular name, I forget, but there's 15 candidates going for 6 slots. And what they did is they had a hat with a topic, and they had to pick the topic, and they had to give a 3-minute talk on that topic. And I thought that was a very interesting way to get to learn, to see how people can speak off the cuff. Because as a past international director, and I had a long conversation with TJ about this, you're oftentimes put into situations where you have to talk about things that you may not be prepared for. So it was quite interesting to see how, some of the candidates were very adept at doing that and others struggled with it. And I happened to fly I met in Dallas before we left, someone out of the state of Oregon that was running, and she was talking about it. So I knew it was coming, and I looked for it specifically. And she told me she was really concerned about that because she didn't think she was very good at that. And I specifically listened to what she said, and she did a great job. I think she should have been really satisfied with the way she did that. So it was quite an interesting session.
Interesting. That is they've not done that before. That's a new one, and what a great way to be able to look at those candidates, to know who you're going to want to vote for.
Exactly.
This coming this coming international convention in Mexico City. If you notice, there was not anybody from Texas that was there.
Maybe someday.
Someday.
Well, just so all of you will know, Mike, TJ may have said something to you. If you've had a one-on-one, or any of you've had a one-on-one with them about international directors from Texas, we thought when our convention was going to be in Atlanta, that we would have the opportunity to have an international director elected during our year.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to happen.
Mhm.
It will probably happen at the international convention in Washington, D.C. if we have a chance. You're just not going to get you're not going to get a candidate from Texas that's going to get elected outside of the United States. It's just not going to happen. And it's politics, folks, and there's no politics in Lions, but that's just kind of the way that it is. And right now, we have a couple of people who have said they're interested in running for ID, but we do not have any candidate, and we won't have any candidates that have put their name in the hat or thrown their name at until the call is made that Texas is now opened for an international director candidate. So,
Chris, do they allocate which districts are allowed to put candidates forward?
Not officially.
Yeah, that's a loaded question, Kevin. But a fair question. Yes, we are voluntold when we can do something.
Okay, all right. So there's an agreement made that the U.S. has got X number of directors for a particular year, and then that is filtered down. So there's nothing we can do directly, or I should say indirectly, to ensure that we get a slot, and I'll call it a slot. But I do know that if we're punching all the buttons, I think we'll get more consideration.
Well, there's a couple. It's not so much of what Texas is doing; it's what Constitutional Area 1 is doing. It's all based on constitutional areas. I know this goes out well outside the realm of what we want to talk about and what we're talking about in our particular council. But from the standpoint of IDs, we have a grand total of 11 IDs from Constitutional Area 1. Grand total, and it's 6 and 5. It's what it's always been. 6 1 year, 5 the next year. At the end of this year, moving into next year, the 2025-2026 year, we will lose 4 international directors. We'll be down to 7 total in Constitutional Area 1. Anybody want to take a guess on what is the driver on that?
Membership.
Right.
Membership is exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way for us to start getting international directors back is by increasing our membership. So if we want to add them, if we want to add more IDs,
compliance with directives is how we get the slots.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Got to know
so much for the politics of Lions Clubs International and the things that everybody really wants to know, that as if we really don't have any politics in that stuff. Who else has a question or a concern, or how can I help you? I mean, I know you guys are out there doing some things. Don't know what everybody is really doing because you're not sharing too much with me. So in some ways that's a good thing, and in some ways I'm a little concerned that I don't know what my council's doing. So
I can tell you what I've been doing.
Sure.
Well, I'm in the process of scheduling some visits. I have one scheduled, but it may seem premature, but I've already started preparing for my year, 2026. So I have a draft of what I want on my pin. I have preliminary artwork that I've created, and I have a preliminary web page and a preliminary directory. And I have several names filled in for the people I want on my cabinet. And I know this will change. A lot of these things may change, but I've already decided on format for everything, for the directory, for the website. And so that's what I've been doing.
Well, I can tell you, I think that's great, Otelia. Number one. Number two, you can never start too early on this. It is a yeoman's task sometimes for what is asked of a district governor. So getting started early is a good thing, and glad to hear that. And trust me, things will change. You'll have some changes that will happen through there. There's no doubt. But good job. I mean, go, do it. Have some fun, and have some fun while you do it.
Yes, I enjoy doing that.
Well, we've got 4 new clubs, I think, about to make under DG Renee Lamson, who's in 2X3 with me. And so I've been helping her some with informational meetings. One club that died a horrible death about 5 years ago due to some infighting. And so they're trying to revive that one. And that's been interesting to say the least, but I know some of the players. So I'm hoping we can cajole them into letting the past be the past, and we can revive it with 10 new members. I'm learning what a branch club is and how to repurpose a charter. I heard about that last night. You'll hear that. Didn't know any. I mean, I just feel overwhelmed by all there is to learn right now. And Renee said, yeah, it's kind of like a full-time job. And Randy Wilde is our IPDG. She was there too, and she agreed. And so I'm fully prepared for a lot of stuff that, I've got to absorb. But I'm just listening and learning and taking notes and, doing the best I can. But looks like District 2X3 is starting to do really well. And I'm glad.
2X3, you guys have something. You have some great stuff in the works and in the wind. And I would be very remiss on this call if I didn't say and give a shout out to Terry Gorby and S4 in what has happened in that. I mean, 3 clubs already this year they put in the first 90 days of this. Terry, you Devin and his team, y'all have done a great job. I mean, you've been. It is truly fantastic what's going on. X1 is also right on the heels of everybody. I think they've brought in 2 clubs now this year. I know that X3 is working. You've got one that is getting ready to open real quick, and you got about 2 or 3 more that are in the works. I know, Mike, you and E2 have 1 club, maybe 2 that are working. So, and what I'd like to ask all of you to do is, and by the way, and Brian, I do believe, if my memory is right, that Javier is working on 1 or 2 clubs in T3 right now. So, but what I'd like to ask for all of you to do is, when we have these calls, or if we have our one-on-one call, don't want to do it here openly. I would like for you to tell me what your district is working on as far as new clubs. I'd like to know what you're doing there. Okay, it is something that I'm interested in and very deeply concerned about. But at the same time, I want to make sure I can read club where club
branch tribe.
Yeah.
There you go. But I also want to make sure that you have and you are also being part of the team in the planning and the execution of new club development. Okay. Believe me, it is what is going to make or break your year as a district governor. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. At the end of the day, it's going to be how they're going to gauge you is if you were successful or not, is if you in the year with a plus in membership. And the best way to be a plus in membership is to put in a new club, at least one. So,
well, you know, Chris, what's interesting is I was talking to Renee about this, and I was like, girl, you're going gangbusters. And she said, yeah, but they're not chartered as new clubs. And I said, okay, explain. I don't understand. And that's when she said they're going to repurpose another club's charter, pay $30 to rename it the new club when it forms, but it hasn't yet. So it's not considered a newly chartered club. It's just using somebody else's charter. And then she told me about branch clubs that I think they need 10 members or something. So you add that club that's going to sponsor them. And then once they can break off on their own with 20, you lose those members, but you gain the club or something.
Right.
And that's kind of
If they choose to, you lose them.
Yeah.
Confusing because because we have 4 right now. There's even a Spanish speaking club we're talking about forming, and Lauren Sanchez is going to go out and talk about that one with them. But those don't really that one would probably charter as a new one, but the other 3 don't. And that's puzzling me a little bit.
Well, we're gonna confuse the hell out of you, Kim. Even worse than that, probably in January, Mark Roth is going to come and give us a little bit of training on our call here, but he's going to talk to us about and give us some training on a program called Join Together. So if you start a new club, you need 20 new members, right? To start a new club, right? That's the standard. If you want a new club, you're going to have that. So if you're going to do a join together, and so a join together could be an organization within your community that meets and does community service, but they're not affiliated with anybody. They're just kind of out there, and you find that, hey, maybe this might be a good thing for them to become a Lions Club, and you can have what is called a join together. How many members do you need for a join together? You need 15. You need 15. And then you have what you are calling a repurpose of a charter. You're going to renew a charter or going to restart a charter. You only need 10. You only need 10.
Why don't you form a whole new name charter then? Why would you take one that's 70 miles away and change the name on it and pay the $30 fee to do so instead of just having a brand new charter for the brand new club? That's where I'm getting confused.
Because you only need 10 members to start that to revitalize that new to revitalize that old charter.
But why revitalize an old charter if that club no longer exists?
Because you might have here. Let's just take this as an example.
Okay.
We're going to just say I'm going to say Coons, Texas. Nobody knows where that is but me.
I know.
Okay. So some of you may know where Coons is. But let's say that, and there was a club in Coons, and let's say that, and the club did close. That club closed in a community that has about 2,900 people. So we lost service in that community to those people, did we not? Okay. Now, would it be? Do we just forget if I could go back in and start that and renew that charter? In other words, start another club within 12 months of that club closing. I could find in the same town and find 10 new members. You can't use the old members. That's prohibited. You can't use the old members. They got to be new. Find 10 members, 10 people that want to provide service and to do the work of Lions and become Lions. Why would I not want to do that instead of having 20 new members start that? I mean, I can get that new club.
But in this case, the city that she's going to use the old charter in is 70 miles away. It's not even the same city. And that's where I kind of got lost. I'm like, what's the purpose of just taking the charter and putting it in your car and taking it to the new city if it's not in the same town? And I think, Brian, did you say you had an answer for it?
Well, I tell you that when I did the same thing, basically. I took a club that was called the El Paso Special Needs Club, and it was about to close down. They weren't doing anything, and they basically they're about to be shut off by International because they weren't paying the dues or anything else. So basically it saved that club from shutting down. I was in the process of intended to do a branch club, and the Javier Morales talked me into reviving this club instead. Um, and as a branch club, it would have been, it would have been just that club would have shut down. And it was basically their concern was more of not losing the club.
But it's the same town, right?
It's right. It's in the same town, but it's
Okay.
doing something completely different than what the other one was.
Well, ours may be a totally separate circumstance, and I'm wasting time talking about it, but I'm just still trying to figure out all the nuances of starting a club, not from scratch, but branch clubs and all these other kinds. So I'm learning.
You will learn them, and that's the good part about it. You will learn it.
Okay.
Well, one of the last things I'm gonna ask you to do also is that if you send me an email, whether it is you need me to do something or you're just informing me of something, if it's just to inform me, I will always send you back an email saying received and thank you, or received, or got it, or thumbs up, whatever. Folks, do the same with me. I send you an email. If you don't send me a reply back saying you got it, or I don't hear anything from you, I will drive you insane with emails and texts wanting to know did you get it? Or is there a reason you're not answering me? It's called common courtesy.
Yeah.
And I'm just asking you to do that. Okay. I had Ryan had sent me an email, and I told him, I said, please don't take this as being sarcastic. It was not meant to be. And I've said this to a number of people. I failed mind reading when I was in college. It was a class I was not proficient at. So I can't read your mind. So if you would just take the time to either send me a thing saying got it, or just answer it. So I just appreciate it, because I do the same to you. And okay. Is there anything that you need from me?
Not right now.
Okay.
Answers to questions I may email you every now and then. But
if I may, Chris,
Yeah.
in response to what you just said, if I'm just gonna say got it, I don't think I need to tell everybody I got it.
No.
Right.
And
Not at all.
Please.
So
Please do
reply
not.
all those.
I know there are a number of you that like to hit that reply to all. It's kind of a habit. Please, I'm going to ask you to break that habit. You don't need to reply to all. Look, if we do that,
I will say, if you have a Gmail, it's going to automatically default to reply all. So be careful.
Reply button, and it goes straight to Chris only. Thankfully.
Yeah. If it just make sure you try to reply just back to me, because you think about that's 16 replies going around. I mean, that's a lot of emails that people could care less about. And you're saying, yeah, got it. Brian, good point.
I think you can go into the Gmail and set that so it doesn't automatically default to reply all. I think that's a default setting that you can change.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably is.
Chris, on the MD2 website, on the bar across the top, there's a thing called directories.
Right.
And if you click on it, it needs a password. And is that off limits to us? Or if you're trying to find a directory for a club in the state of Texas?
You really want to know the password?
Don't say it's 1, 2, 3, 4 or something.
Password.
Lion.
Who just said password?
David.
Oh, Steve.
Okay.
It's
Is it
password.
Oh.
Lowercase.
All right.
Wow.
That one word or 2 word, Chris?
I think it's, I don't know.
This is
And
a
no,
test.
it's not P/W, okay? But it's password password is a password.
Okay.
Wow.
Are the
Okay.
S's money signs, dollar signs?
No dollar signs, just password.
Okay.
It was set up by a real sophisticated, technologically challenged person. So
Who rode the short bus to IT school?
Yeah.
Lord, I
and I was on that bus. So
I thought you were driving.
how did you know?
I was too.
Well, listen, folks, we've been here about an hour. I didn't think I didn't know it was gonna take this long, but that's fine. We can take 2 hours if you want. That's how important our communication is with each other. As international or second vice president Mark said in his email or in his video, communicate, and communicate. That's how we do things, and that's how we make sure that we're all talking on the same page. I'm here to support you and to do what you need me to do. I'm also here to challenge you, and I'm going to challenge it. But at the same time, I'm also here to support you. And if you're not getting what you need from Lions Clubs International, you're not getting what you need from MD2, or if you're not getting what you need from your district governor, and you're just frustrated, let me know. I mean, I can't move mountains, and there are a couple of you that have some district governors that I think moving a mountain might be easier. But I can certainly go to. I certainly have a good rapport and a good relationship with the sitting council chair. That if I need to go there, I will.
Yes. I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, I know it's not anything, but the $15 for you wanted to get a gift card. You just want to get a Visa gift card and then pick up a thank you card and we all sign it?
That would be wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
And it's 15. Well, I think it's 15 if it's 16, whatever it is.
Yeah, it was 15 a piece, and then so I'll go get a Visa gift card, and then I'll get a thank you card for all of us to sign it when we get to San Angelo.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Okay. Yeah. I know that it's maybe a little bit out of the norm in doing that, but I think it's going to. Not only do I think it will pay this council huge dividends as the years go forward,
now we're talking Free Martin's gift, right?
Right.
Yes. Okay, then that's just the courteous thing to do. She's taking her time to come do it. That's not asking a lot. So
I just want to make sure. I just wanted to make sure it's just a Visa card was okay.
Sure.
And then I get a thank you card and have all of us sign it. So that's what I was trying to.
Great. Thank you for checking.
That is perfect. And yes, Terry, thank you for taking that on and doing that. But that is perfect, Terry. Yes. Yes.
Oh, can I give y'all an update on the scarves and the ties?
Please.
Oh, yeah.
Production. And I've seen the proofs. They look like what you saw. And she's excited about doing something different. So I gave her the go ahead today to print. And she's going to have them to me in time to bring to San Angelo. So,
wow.
But yeah,
I guess I need to pay for my tie then. Okay.
Okay.
Well, what I'm going to do, I told her just to bill my company because it's like we did the other stuff. Just bill by design, and then I'll pay her with a credit card, and then Terry can reimburse me when we see each other. And then you can pay Terry like we did for the other stuff. Does that work for everybody?
Yep.
That's fine.
Terry, is that okay with you?
Yeah, I've received from 3 people already.
Terry, bill me when they need
well,
well,
they're going to be, if you're going to reimburse me directly, they're $1,000 a piece. You can write KIM Giles on the check. It'll be fine.
$1,000 a piece. Ooh, okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Brian This vendor has been a challenge. However, when I saw the proofs, I realized that, you know, she is going to be able to do it. I think it's going to be very unique. And I'm going to be tickled that we've got something custom. So I just wanted to let you know they are in process. She can do it, and I think they'll be pretty. So handsome and pretty. So there you go.
It'll be good. That's good. I'm proud of you guys for coming up with that idea and moving forward with that. I think it's gonna, again, I don't know of another council in any recent history that had their own tie. So
that's so unique.
Very
Chris,
unique. Yes.
Chris, quick update. Unfortunately, your password doesn't work for the state website. I just tried.
I will get a hold of Larkin Smith, and I will let everyone know.
Thank you. Just wanted to let you know.
Oh, and I'd like to congratulate all those who got their degrees in Louisville, Kentucky. Great job.
Yeah.
Did they read my name out? Did they read my name out for my master's?
They did not read it, but it was sitting next to me in the chair next to me. And, but they picked it up. They wouldn't let us have them. I said, well, I'll give them to him.
Those turkeys. Okay, that's fine.
You have to get that impressive pin, Chris.
Yeah, well, I got my PhD, but I had to be there to get that. So, but I didn't make it, so I get it. That's fine.
I'm planning to go to next year's forum. Is that in Washington, D.C.? Did I hear?
No.
Or,
No, that is
Atlantic City.
Atlantic City,
Atlantic City.
New Jersey.
I'm sorry.
Kim, you need to stay away from Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Hey, the casinos are gone, I hear.
Almost.
It's being held at Harrah's.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Probably in the same building.
Same building.
Oh, good. Okay. Atlantic City. I got to change that note. I'd written Washington. I'm thinking of something else. Is that the international convention?
The year after ours.
That's a year after us. Is the 27,
right.
28 convention will be in Washington. Yeah.
Got it. All right. Cool.
Well.
All right. Anybody else have anything for the good of the 2026-2027 council?
Thanks for all you do for us. I know it's a hassle sometimes.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
It's a joy to work with you guys, and thank you. But appreciate everything that you're doing. Continue to keep doing the hard work. And again, if you've got anything, let me know if you need my help. Okay, just let me know.
Will do.
Will do, sir.
Thank you, everyone. Look forward to seeing you.
Everybody in San Angelo.
San
Bye,
Angelo.
everyone.
And we'll talk with everybody a little later. Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Where's the quit button?
Oh, Brian, come on. You didn't sleep through this one, did you?
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, yeah, where is the quit button?
Where's my stop recording? Hell, I can't find it here.
Bye, Jared.
Bye, y'all.
Jared and I are going to have a conversation. So if everybody wants to, hang out with us.
Let me get out of here so I don't have to listen to Jared's conversation.